Good morning. It is Wednesday again, and we're here with Breakfast with Bev. So welcome to our show this morning. I'm Bev Curtis with Bev and Company at House of Brokers Realty, Inc. And I have the pleasure to be here this morning with George Zimney. George has been a long-term friend and client of mine through the years. It's been a long time now. So bought and sold a lot of properties, and he has a company that he actually is the president of Zeal Financial Group, and he solely represents family heritage. And the reason why I asked George to be with us this morning is that George has got some products with his company that I think are very beneficial and that people really need to know about, and I want to share them with everyone. And here's the reason why. Every one of us gets up every day and puts our boots on, so to speak, gets out in the trenches, goes to work, and tries to provide for our family. You're always trying to either make your own house payment, grow your assets, pay your monthly bills, all the things that kind of life brings our way, all the responsibilities of being a grown-up. It's like when you're a grown-up, it's like, okay, there's a lot of responsibility that comes along with that. And so a lot of times I think people forget about the, I hate to say it this way, but kind of the, oh shit days. It's like, oh my gosh, life happened. I was in a car accident this morning and I broke my leg, or I fell off a ladder, or God forbid, I was not feeling well, went to the doctor, and you find out that maybe you have an illness that you weren't aware of, and it can be a life-altering event. Hopefully it's something that's a short-term event, and that's where the planning, just like how you plan to purchase a home and plan your investments and plan your monthly budget, there also needs to be the planning for the protection. And I think a lot of people forget the protection part because we just all assume that we're going to wake up every day and it's going to be another day and we're going to do what we do best and all is going to be well. So this morning, George, I would like for you to kind of share with us exactly what you do with family heritage and how we can explain to folks that there is a really good peace of mind out there for people at a very affordable prices.
Yeah, absolutely. First off, Bev, thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
This is
awesome. It's a pleasure.
Yes. So I was actually, quick story, I was in the office about a month ago, and Bev said, George, you should come on the show, Breakfast with Bev. And I thought it was a tremendous idea, but I was here because I've done 5 deals with you guys.
I think so.
2 rental properties and 4 deals. 4 deals.
I think so.
And then some of my best friends in the world, we've referred to Bev, and you guys have taken care of them. So thank you.
You're
this
welcome.
Is awesome. It's a life of reciprocity, right?
There you go. There you go.
So, hey everybody. So my name's George Zimney, as Bev introduced me. I have been with a company called Family Heritage for 9 years. 2 years into my career, I opened and started to operate my own agency called Zeal Financial Group. Just to give you the 2-second version on Zeal, we are the equivalent to a Bev and Co. to House of Brokers. So we are one of 50 nationwide agencies that, like Bev said, solely represents a big insurance company called Family Heritage. Full disclosure, I hate insurance.
Full disclosure, I hate paying for it.
Right?
But I know I have to have it.
Yes. And so when I was looking at this industry 9 years ago, I've been doing this 9 years. I grew up in Hartsburg, Missouri, presently reside with my family, 2 young daughters, my wife Stephanie here in Columbia. But I never thought in my wildest dreams I would sell insurance. It's not something sexy or glamorous. We hate to pay for it. We love it whenever we need to use it. But I hate traditional insurance. But I love what our company does. And the first thing that attracted me to Family Heritage was the products. And so simply what we do is when a client, an individual, an employee, or a family goes through cancer or heart disease or stroke or that broken bone or that fall off the ladder, like Bev has a colleague that she was telling me about earlier, what we do is we don't pay the hospital. That's what health insurance is for. We don't pay when people die. That's what traditional life insurance is for. We pay the family directly. So we pay cash to a family's checking account. And you do whatever you want with that cash. And so Family Heritage, a few things that really make what the company does and what the company stands for separates them from, I hate to say, Aflac and Colonial and some of those other big competitors that are well known that I respect as corporations, but I know we have a product that is a billion times better, and I'll explain why here in a minute. But a couple of things we do different from all those other companies and why there's so much value in what we do is number one, there's no limits. So Bev, you've been a client of mine for about 9 years now.
I have to say, and it's very much a peace of mind factor because I'm in sales. I am 100% commission income, and Alan works with me directly in the business. So we have all of our eggs in one basket. So if something happened to one of us, it would dramatically impact our financial situation.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And you're a business owner.
That's right.
Right. And so if Bev isn't flipping houses, then the reality is that generates the revenue that grows the business, that pays the employees, but also pays the Curtis's income, right? And so if you're not flipping houses for, God forbid, 9 months because you or Alan were going through cancer, that would
it would be a hardship. Absolutely.
So that's what we're for. So we don't put caps or limits on people. We pay cash to the client. But here's the biggest thing. Here's the no-brainer, the win-win scenario for our clients is if you don't use the policy after 25 years, you get all the premium you paid in back. It's called a return of premium, and it's built into everything that we offer. We're the only company in the industry that does that.
That was the part that was like a no-brainer to me. Yeah. So you hope and pray you never ever have to use it, but God forbid if you did, it's there. And if you don't, you get a nice little fat check in the mail.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So Bev, I think that instead of talking about the product, I don't want to pitch a product on this.
Yeah.
My big the thing that I value the most is when I can educate somebody or help them think about what would life look like if X, Y, or Z occurred to us unexpectedly, and what can we do? What are the options to prepare? So I think that before we really get into the product at all, and I probably won't get into it very much, moving forward.
You know what? You take the floor on that. I just want you to explain the need and that you are the resource that can take care of that for their peace of mind to protect their investments.
Perfect. So I want to give y'all an idea of some scenarios and real stories of what we do for families and really how tremendous of a value this is. So these are, I'm going to read to you a couple of thank you letters to kind of paint that picture, and then share with you a couple of stories beyond that, personal stories that I've had. But we get, our company nationwide gets about 50 to 150 personally handwritten thank you notes from clients literally on a monthly basis, Bev.
Wow.
And these are people that were in the same couch or on the same chair or at the same work table that you're at right now as you're watching this, that at no point in their life had they ever thought about, well, what would I do? What would my family do tomorrow if we were diagnosed with cancer? Or if we had a major car accident that put us in the hospital for 6 months in a coma? What are we going to do as we're surviving those unexpected events? These families were in the same situation. The difference is they got educated, and then they were offered a product through our company that they felt they had a need for, and they took action on it, right? When do most people think about the financial burden of cancer, Bev?
After it's already too late, after the damage is done. And it's not only, I think every single one of us knows someone probably just right now that either is going through a major illness, that has been in an accident, that's got a family struggle. Everyone can think of someone that's close to you probably that's going through this. And, I think a lot of times we all think that it's not going to happen to me. Well, guess what? Life happens to every single one of us. So it's like at some point we're all going to have our time in the well, so to speak. So that's where I think just the preparation and preparing, it's not if something's going to happen, as they say, it's the when. And that's what you're kind of looking at is, okay, let's prepare for the when.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, there's always a tomorrow. We just don't know if our tomorrow's tomorrow.
That's right. That's right.
And we were talking about this earlier. The good news to battling cancer, if there's any positive light to be shed, is the reality is most people are beating it.
That's right.
And so that modern medicine and early detection and all these things are amazing. The challenge is there's a lot of extra pressure and burden put on your shoulders as you're beating that illness, because you have to go through it for so long now. Sometimes it's a lifetime. And first off, Bev, just want to reach out to everybody that has a loved one, a family member, somebody in their immediate household, or somebody they know in their community going through cancer. Because it is not easy. This is not an easy topic ever to discuss. And the biggest challenge I find is catching people before this happens, so I can try to help them at least take some of that pressure off their plate. What I do doesn't remove the cancer or save their life, but if I can help them in any way to alleviate the pressures, they're already going through something challenging. That's my personal mission. My wife has a close friend that was recently diagnosed with leukemia. She also has a coworker that's very young in age at the hospital that just battled and beat breast cancer. Steph, my wife, has been through skin cancer. So she had a little red dot in the middle of her forehead, ended up taking about 32 stitches. Thank God it didn't go a few months further, because they would have done skin grafting. And Steph she was 32 at the time. So we've all known somebody who's gone through something like this. So, Beth, I'd like to read a couple of these things.
Yeah, please.
I think these
Go right ahead.
These are pretty powerful. So this is from a client in Taylorville, Illinois, that never used our policy. This is best case scenario, right? Owned it for 20 plus years, wrote this in December of 2015. And here's what they said. When I received the phone call informing me I had a refund of premiums I had forgotten about, I was shocked. This is very unusual for an insurance company to refund your premiums, and I really appreciate it, and I still carry the policy. We paid this family back $10,657. What they paid in, they got back simply for sticking with it. Last year, Family Heritage, the insurance company, paid back over $25 million just in 2017 in return of premium to clients that had stuck with the company for a number of years.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
This one is the opposite side. This is somebody who went through cancer from Greeley, Colorado. And this speaks to the business owners out there, to the realtors, to the self-employed people, and the importance of this for people in that in your niche. This gal wrote this on 8/5 of 2016. Beth, check this out. We paid her $62,000 cash to this woman's checking account. So again, we pay cash to you. You do whatever you want with the money, right? She said, purchasing this policy when I became self-employed was the single smartest financial decision I've ever made. Your coverage put my disability policy to shame. They stopped paying 2 years into what is now a 9.5-year fight with cancer. Family Heritage has kept me out of bankruptcy and saved me from homelessness. Wow. Isn't that powerful?
That's very powerful. It really is. I mean, it's almost kind of, you almost have to stop and pause at something like that, It's very humbling.
Very much so. So I feel blessed and very excited to be able to spread this message about get prepared before this stuff happens. If nothing else, just talk through the conversation. Bev, think about this. Don't quote me on this, but they say about 1 in 1,000 homes will burn to the ground.
Oh boy, George, I don't know the statistics on that one.
Okay, so
I know that people stay in their homes about 7 years. As far as how many burn, I really don't know that one. So
it's the odds of your home burning to the ground. The point is,
yeah,
it's like really, really slim.
Yeah,
right.
That's very true.
And we'll pay tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars a year on homeowners insurance. It's necessary. It's required.
That's right.
But the odds of that happening is very, very low. Right. 1 in 2 men and 1 in 3 women at some point in their life, based on the American Cancer Society, will go through cancer. I'm a father of 2 young daughters, 3 and 6, Raylan and Adeline. And this is the stat that blows my mind. It scares the heck out of me. But it's the reality, right? It's what's actually happening. Cancer right now in the U.S. is the second leading cause of death of children. Second, right behind accidents. And it represents the #1 cause of bankruptcy due to illness in the U.S. right now. The #1 reason why my family would go bankrupt due to illness statistically is cancer. So here's my question. Why the heck are we not talking about this and being more proactive and getting prepared for this? Seriously.
I think a lot of it's denial. None of us want to think about worst case scenarios. It's a painful thing to think about. I lost my mom to cancer 7 years ago this December. And I have to say, it's one of those things where that's why I'm very passionate about spreading this message today, is because I just see so many people that, it happens to, and it's other things too. I mean, it's heart illness. I mean, there's all sorts of things, accidents. But I mean, it's one of those things where it's hard to think about. It's no different, George, than trying to get someone to buy life insurance. Nobody wants to think about, okay, you really do need life insurance, but the only way it pays out is somebody's not here anymore with you. You've lost a loved one. I think it's just the reality of the pain of it that people are just in denial, and you just don't want to think about that. Or maybe their budget doesn't allow and they don't think that it's important because, I mean, there's just so many budgetary items on a monthly basis that to fit one more thing in, but that one more thing, something like this, can be a make or break.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah. But I mean, I totally agree with you. I mean, I think it's one of those things where people really do need to think about, do I have my 6 months reserves in the bank to cover me if, on those life events that comes up? Do I have adequate insurance on my assets, on my life insurance policies, on my disability, whatever it is? I mean, I know we're a firm believer in it. And I think a lot of it is just because being self-employed, it makes you even all that much more aware because you're responsible for yourself. And I have people that work with me that I'm responsible for them. And, I take that very seriously. And so that's why we definitely, feel very good about our coverage and know that if something happens, at least we're doing everything possible that we can do to take responsibility and weather through it. Because, when an event like that happens, it's so emotional draining for the family that the last thing you want to think about is the financial aspect too. It's almost like, once you're already down, it's like a double blow where it just knocks you down that much further. So,
Right.
So.
And I remember sitting down with you and Alan, I think it was about probably approaching 9 years ago, almost a decade.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing I remember from that conversation is Bev and Alan had never really had the conversation in the first place that we were having 9 years ago.
I would totally agree.
And that's my big thing.
We had life insurance policies in place, but we didn't think about, I mean, well, when you're young, you think that, it's not going to happen to me. I mean, that's just the normal thing that you think to yourself is that, okay, I'm tough, I can get through it. It's like, we'll make it work. But, once you have a family and, have, all the, mortgage debt and everything that you have along the way, I mean, you really do have to stop and think that, okay, if I was out of the workforce for a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, a year, what would we do? And that's where it was kind of like, okay, it's a no-brainer because in our particular situation, being self-employed, it's not, should we do it? It's, oh my gosh, we need to get this taken care of right away.
Right.
So,
right.
And never look back, I have to say. I mean, it's a peace of mind every day knowing that if something happens, at least we did everything we could do.
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
if you guys ever use this, I hope and pray you don't.
I hope and pray we don't either.
But I'm right here. I'm going to take care of you.
Oh, I know. And I'll continue to write you the check and I'll smile every time hoping that I don't have to use it. Because that's the one thing. It's like, I know another one of my colleagues said the same thing. It's like, don't get upset writing an insurance check. Just every time you write the check, just hope and smile that, I hope I never have to use this. So, yeah.
And next time we buy, build, or sell a house, or that best friend comes by and says, hey, who's a good realtor? I can't get my house sold. Dude, you got to call Bev. She's freaking amazing. I just did that with a good friend of mine. Okay, guys, quick story.
I did not pay him to say that either. He did that on his own.
So it's true. That's true as well. So quick story about her, because I know that she's gonna beat me up for promoting her, but I just have to, because the proof is in the pudding, right? You get the result. People need to share that story. So these guys at Bev & Co. So I've got a good friend, not going to say his name, selling a house in a decent to good neighborhood. Couldn't get his house sold with his present realtor. And I know that in the industry, it's not good to switch back and forth and move around, stick with who you got as long as they're representing, you in the right way. Right, Bev?
Sure.
So anyways, this guy couldn't get his house sold with who he is with. The individual was not following through. Got in contact with Bev, and Bev did the right thing. So this individual called her, right? And anyways, Bev got the house sold within a month.
Probably about 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
About 2 weeks.
Within 2 weeks, and this guy is just, he'll be a Bev & Co. follower for life. Bev sold my house in Copperstone. This was a few months ago, pre-listing. Now, folks, if you do business with Beth, don't expect that you're going to always sell your house. She's going to sell it before it's listed. But these guys flat out hustle and they follow through, and the communication is there, and it's been awesome. So,
well, thank you.
You guys are amazing.
You rock too, George. I have to say, if you are considering looking into insurance options, considering protecting your assets, your family, just for kind of those, oh my gosh, life happened days, I strongly, strongly recommend that you reach out to George. His company is very reputable. George has been in the business now, you said 9 years, with the Zeal Financial Group, has done an amazing job. We could not be happier with the services, I have to say. And literally, he is just a phone call or an email or a text away. Very responsive. And I really do mean it from my own story, personal story, with my mom passing away from cancer 7 years ago. I mean, it is something that you really do need to think about. And it doesn't matter, things like this that happen in life, it's not discriminatory to age. It doesn't matter if you're, a child, a teenager, mid-20s, 30s, all the way up to retirement, elderly. It doesn't matter. It's like things happen to all of us throughout our life. And that's where I think just the planning and just the peace of mind, just the protection for your assets, your family, your financial picture, it's crucial. And it certainly helps loved ones throughout that process too, just managing everything else that has to be done while you're temporarily out of commission. So, okay.
And one more thing, Bev.
Yeah.
If you're a business owner like Bev, or you lead the HR, or you want me to talk to your company about bringing us in, about bringing family heritage in, and myself and my associates to service your business, you could have 1,000 employees or 2 employees, and we can work with you. There's no minimum. But there's 2 things that I serve businesses, or my mission is twofold when I serve a business. Number one, I guarantee you that my service and my product will add value to retaining your employees. I guarantee, because our products are so unique and so much better than Aflac right now. I'm just going to say it the way it is, right? From a value standpoint. Number 2 is the amount of value that we bring to the actual employee is tremendous. And there's just nothing else like it because of the return of premium. So they get an added benefit that pays cash to them if they go through an accident or heart attack or cancer, but they get the return of premium if they don't use it and stick with it for a number of years. It can be employer contributed. It can be a total voluntary thing. Matter of fact, Bev, it doesn't even have to be payroll. There's so many businesses that love us because they can just bring us in. They love the value we bring, the benefit we bring, but they don't have to deal with the headache of payroll. And there's none of the big carriers right now offer it on an individual basis. It has to be payroll. It's just another headache. So we have businesses we just partnered with MoreSource with Kat Cunningham. So Kat has moved her old supplemental provider kind of out the door and brought us in to serve her 700 plus, mostly Missouri clients. And she runs a tremendous benefit business over there at MoreSource. And there's a lot of other companies that are looking at us to bring us in as well. One of those, after we're off the air, I'll mention to you, it's close to your heart.
Cool.
So,
very cool.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Well, thank you very much for joining in this morning. And as always, we hope you find the information is very beneficial. Certainly pass along to your family members and friends, and share the peace of mind that there's definitely some options out there to take care of those situations that comes up. So we really do appreciate you joining in again with us this morning. Hope you have a fabulous week. Hope everybody's adjusting to the back to school, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Take care.